233 years prior. A delicious blend of minerals and gunpowder coated the air of the hillside chamber. The cave had a still, silent interior and held a venerable importance. Vant, having walked past the guards protecting the stockade, turned his eyes to the spoils of hundreds of years of battles. There were blades of every shape and kind, ancient bludgeoning instruments, piles of explosives stored in layers of crisscrossing protection plates, and commanding respect from its placement dead center in the cave. An anvil represented the art of blacksmithing from eras past. Whereas Vant sipped the surroundings like wine, Terrii guzzled them like ale. He went straight to the wall of ballistics weapons where he coveted each and every gun in turn.
Pupils,
A gravelly voice spoke. They had arrived early, but they were not the only ones there.
Congrats on this day, your day of exaltion.
Thank you, Cloakmaster,
Said Vant.
I'm glad you're not dead yet.
Said Terrii.
I'll get to say I told you so.
Gordon smiled.
You're early, which means you're smart. I suggest you take the opportunity to gather information. One word of wisdom may mean the difference between life and death.
Vant deduced what the veteran meant long before Terrii did.
We can ask you anything we want?
Yes, but hurry, the order will arrive at any moment. One question each. Young warrior Hu'l, you may start.
What will be the most effective weapon for my task?
Gordon scrunched his grizzled face in thought.
Your aversion to firearms leaves you with significantly fewer options. If you ever considered reconsidering, now would be the time.
No.
Vant Hu'l, you are a talented pupil and one of the wisest. So hear me now. If you do not pick up a gun tonight, you will die.
Vant inclined his head in acknowledgement, but did not respond with words.
That leaves my favorite student, Master Terrii the Fierce. What question do you have for your old cloakmaster?
I'm good.
Confidence without competence has a name, Terrii. It's called arrogance.
Don't sweat it. I got this.
So be it. May your defenses in combat be as impenetrable as your mind, Agmar Burian Terriforn. Best of luck, my pupils. You are both gifted in unique ways. I wish you a safe return, and thus knighthood into the order.
The rhythm of marching came from outside the cave.
The knights approach. Agmar will present you with your challenges.
There was even more ruckus.
And apparently your fans will send you off.
Vant was the most talented student the Order had ever seen, and Terrii was the son of the First Prime. As such, they had risen up through the ranks as celebrities. The entire village was invested in their fate, and thus they had convened for the Exaltion Day ceremony. Agmar entered the cave, tailed by his battalion of hooded knights. The weight of their purpose consumed the airspace. They formed a circle around the two candidates.
75 knights, no more, no less. That's the way it has always been, and the way it will always be. We are an army large enough to be feared, but small enough to be swift. 2 of our order fell in the last battle, which means we have room for 2 new knights to take their places.
Vant and Terrii stood tall. The excitement flowing through them was palpable.
You will find no celebration here. You have come to this day, but you have not earned it. Any child can go through training. Any child can come of age by waddling around and waiting long enough. You've achieved nothing by merely showing up. Are you deserving of our respect? Doubtful. Are you as powerful as you think you are? Prove it. Walk out of this cave as sniveling children full of empty promises, but return as men. Return as warriors. Return as knights.
Knights upright!
The army bellowed.
I order you to succeed. I order you. Should you fail, others will take your place. Others who would never dare to defy my command.
Cloakmaster Gordon stepped forward.
You will travel only with the weapons of your choosing and a witness, a warrior prime, who will confirm your victory or demise. They are under strict orders to not interfere with your fate under any circumstances. As for your tasks,
They are here, written by my hand.
Agmar handed a scroll to Terrii and another to Vant. Terrii tore his open, read the note, and grinned his cocky half-smile. His task would be a challenge, but surmountable. The knighthood was as good as his. Vant waited for permission to unravel his parchment, which Agmar granted with a nod. He opened the scroll and read the message. His arm fell to the side. He dropped the paper. One word had been scribbled on it. The name of a town, Bermose. Terri's elation waned when he saw Vant's expression. He turned his eyes to his father, whose fiery gaze was locked onto Vant. In this moment, Agmar could not have cared less about his own offspring. There was other blood he was far more interested in. That of Vant's, being spilt. Vant pulled his stare to Terrii, searching for an answer he needed to know. And one he received. Terrii had no knowledge of this plot. His slack-jawed gape revealed that truth.
choose your weapons.
Said Cloakmaster Gordon.
Choose wisely for the task at hand. Choose those that speak to your strengths.
Terrii stepped right up. He snatched as many grenades as he could fit in his pockets and shouldered the biggest assault rifle in the arsenal. He wrapped several belts of ammunition around his waist and stuffed a satchel to the brim with extra bullets for good measure. Vant paced the floor. He admired the blacksmithing tools. How beautiful they were. His mind swam as he considered the situation at hand with Agmar, as well as the impossible task before him. He was to wipe out Bermose, a city teeming with threats and a long-standing thorn in the side of the Knights of Rights. Every attack against it had been met with failure. This was beyond a suicide mission.
Warrior Hu'l.
Said Cloakmaster Gordon, jolting Vant from his trance. Vant approached the anvil. He studied a smithing glove in a pile of forging equipment. It was dense and weathered, used long ago to pound red-hot steel into flat blades. He slid it onto his hand. It was immensely heavy. He walked across the floor, through the confused stairs of the Knights of Rights and up to the neglected assemblage of assorted trappings. He shouldered a dusty bullwhip, then returned to the center of the armory to meet Agmar's gaze head-on. Agmar's heartbeat visibly pumped through his veiny frame. He gritted his teeth as if preparing to rage. But instead, he pointed a finger to the outside.
Go,
He ordered.